Good afternoon. Welcome to the very first edition of Firebirds Weekly. I'm the co-host Chris Sipperly. I'm joined by Adam Samroff. This is a new show that we're going to be trying to do at least somewhat weekly, considering that's the name of the show. So really just talking about the Firebirds, what's going on with the Firebirds, the league, the players on the team, and things of that nature. So with that, I'll hand it right over to Adam.
And we're hoping this to be able to do during the season, talk about, post game, talk to guys, get their thoughts, and go through the season as the Firebirds look to return to and hopefully win the AF1 championship here in 2024-25. Trevon, I appreciate you coming on, giving us some time on a busy, I'm sure a busy Saturday. So I just, wanted to, get a chance. You've been in Albany now for the last handful of years. And so obviously a lot of Firebirds fans know you, who you are and your story, but if they don't, how did you get into the game of football when you were growing up? When did you start playing the game and all that?
Yeah. First and foremost, I just wanted to let y'all know that intro video, it was a masterpiece. I like it.
No, I appreciate that. No, that's one of the things, like, I know not to take you off task, but like that's what we want to do. Like that's what this is about is taking the time and doing it the right way. And doing some things out there that hopefully people will enjoy, including the players. At the end of the day, you guys are what kind of makes this thing go,
Yeah. No, but back to your question, Adam. I started playing football around the neighborhood that I grew up in. Grew up in this little neighborhood called Forest Creek, and I used to always play tackle football with the older kids. So I used to be like 5, 6, playing tackle football with like 10, 11-year-olds, and I was actually tackling them. And my grandmother, she used to always sit on the balcony and watch me play with them. And she used to always kind of harp that I need to play like actual football. Like she's a Redskins fan too. And the year that I actually was old enough to play football, she ended up passing away on March that year. And so she never even got to actually able to see me play football. So I got a tattoo of her, like of her birthday and her name and everything. So it's just a reminder that even though she's not physically here seeing me play football, she can still watch me. She's watched every single one of my games. So yeah, so she's really more my reason why to play football. And I just always had like a natural love for it.
I believe we're having a few technical difficulties here.
No, I think we're okay. I don't know. I think Trevon, can you hear me all right? Trevon, excuse me. No, we might have lost him there.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. No, I got you.
Yep.
So Adam, if you can
everybody talking in the chat. Hey y'all, that's replying to me in the chat.
Yeah, there you go.
Comment section.
100%.
There we go. No, I love that. I love that story. That's the kind of thing, you see that a lot. Family members support you immediately and love to watch you play the game. And then they're with you no matter if, like you said, she passed away, passed before you really got going into your football playing. So to have her with you, that's awesome to have that. Yeah, I guess I was, doing some research. It says you're from Temple Hills, Maryland. I saw you lived in near DC. What were some of your early influences in the game? Coaches, like people that were around you that, was like, hey, like you could turn this into something more than just, you play in high school and that's great. Who was some of those influences for you growing up?
So when I actually started playing football, I played football for Forestville Falcons, and still to this day, and it's actually funny because Thanksgiving I'm about to go to his house, but one of my main coaches that wasn't, I would say, like my dad shaped a lot, like my dad helped a lot with a lot of it, but this coach right here, Coach Bam, is like the second father of mine. Coach Bam he was the reason I picked the high school I chose to. Coach Bam would take me to and from practice. He would pick me up after school, stuff like that. If I ain't have it to eat, he'd make sure I had it. So yeah, shout out to Coach Bam. And and speaking of that, I go to Coach Bam's house on Thanksgiving. Every year we have a flag football tournament with all the team, like all the kids and stuff with all my former teammates from Little League. We all grown now, so everybody bring their kids and stuff like that, and we have a big family flag football game.
No, that's to
And,
say football's family.
and that's one of the things I love, and that's
Yeah,
one of the fun things about having around here, because Albany, we don't have a lot of the pro sports. We got the Giants and Jets, and 3 hours away, and the Bills are all the way out in Buffalo, Patriots, whatever, but
yeah,
we don't have the major pro sports, and the fact that we have something like the Firebirds in it becomes that family atmosphere here. And so, like, similar to that up
yeah,
here, you had that for you and your your friends and that growing up, the kids you played football with.
yeah. And I will also just say, like, shout out to all my coaches from Forestville organization. Like, they've all played a role in molding me into the football player that I ended up becoming, because at the end of the day, I had to go through my trials and tribulations with each coach I've had there. I've just had most of my experience with Coach Bam, but I would definitely say every coach that I've played with through Forestville organization has definitely left a stamp on me to be the person I am today.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then to kind of segue off of that, tell me a little bit about your decision to go to Fairmont. I was looking up, doing some research. You had a couple offers for some of this like mains, some of the smaller Division ones, and then you end up going to West Virginia and playing, for Fairmont. Just talk about that decision a little bit, and
Yeah.
kind of the influence of making
So
that choice and becoming a star
I
down there.
yeah, so I actually had so if you look up my high school stuff, it doesn't really tell all the offers I had. So I
Mhm.
had
No,
like
it does. No, it
I had
doesn't.
probably about yeah, I had probably about 21 D1 offers,
Mm-hmm.
but I ended up at first I committed to Marshall because I was going to gray shirt at Marshall, and I didn't qualify to accept a full scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting Arizona State came to my school, ended up offering me. I don't know. And it's funny because I actually just played against him this past season. He played with Orlando, but
Oh no, no
and we
way.
cool and we real cool now. But DJ
Mm.
Calhoun,
Yep.
he was the senior linebacker that was leaving out of the school when I was coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach was telling me, because DJ Calhoun was like, we are the same type of frame linebacker and everything. He was like, look, I like your play. We could come here and start now. And I just need you to get your ACT up. So I ended up decommitting from Marshall because I just knew I was going, like, Arizona State coach had already kind of stamped that I was going to
Yeah.
be a starter. So
Mm-hmm.
I ended up taking my ACT. I needed an 18 on my ACT to qualify D1, and I got a 17 both times I took it. And the first time I
Oh,
took it, and the only reason it didn't bump up from the second time was I went up in every category except for my English. So since my English didn't move up, my entire core grade didn't
Well,
move,
didn't.
even though
Yeah.
I
oh,
moved up like 5 or 6 different points in every category, but English.
oh.
So then coming to Fairmont, and it's it's Coach Merritt. He's funny as a mug, but he coach at Gonzaga High School right now. Shout out to Coach Merritt. But Coach Merritt, I didn't have. They were my only D2 offer because nobody thought I was going D2. I didn't even think I was going D2. So not too many teams, even like D2 teams, came to even talk to me. I only talked to two Division 2 teams. One was Bowie State, and then the other one was Fairmont State.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing about Coach Murray though, Coach Murray was funny though. Like Coach Murray kind of like he knew my situation and he knew it was iffy if I qualified for D1 or not. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to go the JUCO route. I don't know. I felt like I had a bad taste in my mouth about JUCO coming out of high school. And I was like, no, I would rather go
Mm-hmm.
to the school that I'm going to. So yeah, the 17 didn't qualify for uh Arizona State, but it qualified for Fairmont State. And he kept like throughout the whole like 2 weeks after, he was hitting me up every single day about it. He was like, look,
Mm-hmm.
man, look, I understand it's not what you want, but look, you gonna come here and play and all that. So I ended up
Mm-hmm.
making the decision to come to Fairmont. And it was definitely a great decision. Like I don't regret coming to this school.
Excellent. No, it seems it took you to where you are now. So I guess we'll Adam, I'm
Yeah.
sure you got questions that'll kind of lead us to the next step.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and again, doing some, looking up, doing some research. Played all 4 years. Had a chance to play right away as a freshman, which doesn't
Yeah.
happen might not happen at the D1 level. But 203 tackles over 4 years, 32 and a half tackles for loss, handful of sacks, few interceptions. I think 11 pass defense. That's probably what you're most proud of as a linebacker.
Yeah.
Those defense passes, but
I would say the
yeah.
TFLs is for me
Okay,
because
definitely. Okay,
I'm
definitely the
I'm
TFL.
I'm top 20 in school history, and I'm the only linebacker in it.
There we go. See that
So yeah.
aggressive. We
Yeah,
like
that's
it.
good. That's a pretty impressive stat.
Going
That's one you don't
forward.
forget.
Absolutely. So you go through, your 4 years, there, and then, that's 2019. You graduate 2019. Then the pandemic hits. What happens at that point for you in terms of, going out in the world and
So,
knowing that you wanted to keep playing football.
so yeah, I would say 2019 was a rough year. So coming my senior year, not gonna lie, I felt on top of the world. Like I was D2 All American linebacker. We
Mm-hmm.
had a couple, me and probably like two other dudes on our team was getting highly recruited by the NFL teams, and we also had players from years before that got signed to the NFL. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't not common for the NFL teams to come to our practice and scout us. So I literally met and sat down with all 32 NFL teams, and I had a few that were like really like wanted me to come, like the Bears, the Lions, Tampa Bay, Eagles,
Oh, Eagle.
and
Sorry, I'm a Cowboys fan. Sorry. All right, go ahead. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I didn't mean
Oh,
to.
I was crazy. Oh, the Cowboys coach told me straight up, like I did sit down and talk to him, and he told me like, yeah, he liked me, but I was just too small to play
who
linebacker for the
was
Cowboys.
who was the head coach at that time in 19?
In 19,
Uh, for Fairmont State or the Cowboys?
Cowboys.
I think
I
it was
don't even remember.
McCarthy.
Was it Garrett?
It might have been. No, I think Garrett was done by that point. I can't
Mm.
remember, but that
No,
makes
it doesn't
sense.
matter. I was just curious.
No, but that makes sense. That makes sense that the Cowboys would take a player that is really good and could benefit their team and not have them. That is
Yeah,
the Cowboys.
he legit told me, he was like, yeah, we only look for like linebackers that's like 6'5", 240, like
Oh
250.
wow.
I was like,
Oh, sure. Sean Lee wasn't 6'5", 240. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
that's what I was
Trevon.
like.
I don't mean
That's
to.
so, but
But yeah,
yeah,
no,
Yeah.
but like you said, you're D2 All American and you're getting all these looks and guys and you got teams coming
yeah,
to you and saying we want you to be a part of our NFL roster. We want
yeah,
you.
and
So
I
tell me
had
what happens at that point after you're getting all
so
these interest.
yeah, when all the interest was going on, I had everything set up. I had my pro day set up at West Virginia University because even
Mhm.
though my school Fairmont is good, West Virginia is going to like a big stage for the pro day.
Mhm.
So I had my pro day set up at West Virginia University. I had workouts set up with the Commanders, Eagles, uh, Lions, and the Bears. All of it got canceled once the shutdown happened. So I
Oh,
went
that's right, because
from
you're going from 19 into 20.
yeah,
Gotcha.
so
Mm-hmm.
I went from literally like and it happened like probably like a month before I was about to do my pro day, and I always kind of get upset about it when I think about it because the training I did, shout out to the API, my man Al, my trainer, but that was probably the best shape I've ever been in my life. Like I was easily like my test before I jumped in my broad jump, I jumped a 10.5 in
Mhm.
my broad jump. My vert, I jumped a 39. My bench, and we used to do 250 and not 225. Around that time, I
Mhm.
was getting like 50 at the end of workouts for 20 plus.
Mhm.
And I was already smooth with my football drills. Like I don't really worry about showing my like skills on the field because I'm usually a
Mhm.
smooth dude. But
Mhm.
all of that got canceled. So it went from me knowing like or teams knowing like the Bears told me straight up like they were trying to like pick me. Like if I came to their workout at like 2:30 and I was still moving how I was moving, they said they would have picked me up probably like late seventh round or sixth round draft pick, something like that. So I was kind of crushed when everything got shut down because now it goes from me being an actual prospect to, well, you're good, but like you play Division 2, like you're
Right.
too. Like, and I don't know if you guys ever been to college tape. Like my senior season, I kind of like a man child out there. So like
Hmm.
my senior season in college. So yes, I understand both parties. Like, yes, I am good and I am fast and all this, but I'm like good at D2 level. So, and that's what a lot of coaches and the line basically told me like, you should do it because you would be able to get film against dudes that have played like Power Five and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So
Yep.
yeah, so that was really more so. And JR was shout out. That was my old age. Ricker was connected with me, and that was the way I ended up getting Albany my rookie year. And but it was only because they told me like, yeah, you're good, but you need to. I need to see you can do this against dudes that play
Right.
like D1.
Right. So
So
once that, the whole pandemic thing, took its toll, obviously, what was the next step for you once you kind of got in that position where, you had to do something different? Like, how did you get, like, what was the next step for you?
yeah, well, do nothing once the pandemic hit. So I'm not gonna lie, I actually went into a little depression. I haven't even told them this exactly. Everybody go hear this for the first time, but 2020 was a rough year, not only for football but for my life personally.
Hmm.
Like I lost about 18 people that I was like close to
Wow.
that year, whether it was due to COVID, crazy accidents, like
Mhm.
killings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that whole year, I didn't like. I kind of took off of training to like
Hmm.
get my mind right, and I wasn't. I noticed I was more like short tempered and stuff like that, and I wasn't training that often. But when I got the call that I could play football again at Albany,
Hmm.
I kind of like that was like the little spark I needed to like shake me out of my
Hmm.
little depression, and I started to just for the like, month. I had trained like crazy to
Hmm.
get back like in shape for the season for my rookie year. So
Right.
coming into camp my rookie year, and y'all know and love me now, but terrified, shook. And that was probably the first time, like that was probably the first time in my life, like I truly felt like I'm like in a position where I could get cut.
Well,
Like I
that
joke,
was actually, yeah. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. Finish your
yeah,
thought.
no, my bad, brother. Now you good, but I would say like throughout all my years of football, I always joke about this, but I always tell people, yeah, people can say all they want, like they hear about me, watch film, but whenever a person has actually seen me play in person, I've never got a like, oh no, you're not good. Like I've always got like, oh, you're a special player type
Hmm.
of vibe from anybody. So I've never really thought I could get cut. Not saying that it's not like, not saying that it can't happen to me. Like I know it can
Right.
happen.
Yeah.
So, but I just didn't feel that coming into my rookie year. I felt that, and then also rookie year, I uh, signed with Manas and them. I
Hmm.
signed with Robert Keefe and
Yep.
them. So he left and went to Iowa. The Barnstormers,
Hmm.
he tried to get me to come, and I'm like, I'm not trying to go to Iowa. Like, and
Hmm.
then he needed me, like, he left for the Barnstorm on like April 20th. And needed
Hmm.
me to be in Iowa like on the 21st. Like, and I'm like, bro, like, whoa, that's a lot. Like, you just hit, and then you want me to come out there like, immediately. Like,
Hmm.
so I ended up rolling the dice, staying with Albany, not not knowing none of the staff, knowing none of the players that's coming in with me. I was like real nervous. And then that's when we had Grady, Derek
Hmm.
Ross, and all them.
Yep.
So we got a lot of vets on our team that I can't just like I can't slip up. And I
Right.
always know like coming from the D2, I've just I know that we have to work twice as
A little
hard
bit harder,
compared
right?
to a D1
Mhm.
player. Like
Now,
for
when you,
example, like
yeah,
if I do get shot at the NFL, I I don't have room to mess up compared to this kid that was a first round draft pick.
sure,
Like this dude can keep messing up, and they're gonna keep going on the shot. But me, I have to be perfect. I can't even think wrong on a second cut.
right,
So that's how I came into camp,
hmm
and it ended up paying out. And I was like, love it because we didn't have a jack, and I like study the position so crazy to the
hmm
point where it was like a no brainer. Like I'm the jack, if that makes sense. So rookie year, I was more so learning, and then shout out to Timo Terrence Moore because we ended up having to talk after my rookie year about it because everybody told me so much about him,
hmm
and I started watching a lot of his tapes like that, and he had gave me little points, but I appreciate the tips for me, but I also appreciate my rookie year too, because I don't know how to be able to like Prince, Lockett,
hmm
Grady,
hmm
all of them, like
right,
being able to like be around them, seeing their work ethic and understanding like, oh, okay, like I don't want to just be good. Like I want to be like in their category. Like they're the greats of this game. So
hmm
if I'm not working at the same level or better, how can I even sit there and say that I'm good or not? Like, or I'm just part of the greats. So, and that's why I always like, and mind you, Prince will let you know, like me and him, we still go at it like back and forth, but Prince still
hmm
knows the respect of like, yeah, even though I'm a captain now and I'm a veteran, he's still one of my vets. So
right.
I
Now,
can't
when
like it
you,
would never get to like, oh, like, but
mm,
I definitely still love and respect everybody on my team. Like how everything goes. The vibes now it's funny because even though they still older than me, I'm
mm,
like up there with the accolades and stuff now. Like I'm not
mm.
like the rookie that came in that don't really know arena. Like,
Right, and
and it's
you've
crazy. I
kind
could
of built
have
yourself some equity. You know what I mean? And the question I wanted to ask you earlier.
yeah.
So when you went from the outdoor to the indoor, what I know you said you had to spend a lot of time to study, but what was one thing that you struggled with the most trying to get into that mindset of playing indoor versus outdoor?
Uh, I would say it was more so the box, and it's
Yep.
crazy because I didn't even like Jack in the Box. Like I haven't really had that many Jack. Like in my career, I probably and I take pride in this too. Like I really do. But I probably had like four called on me,
Mhm.
and one of them was like, "Oh, don't get me started on one of them." Like one of them was a game. It was a game with an interception. And, oh my god, it's too close. Like it's too close. But like yeah, it was more so being able to. I'm used to reading and reacting, and I'm a very good like outdoors. I'm a great pass coverage linebacker. Like I'm one
Mm.
of the linebackers where you can see if they throw a deep post 40 yards downfield and you look up, you're like, why the hell is the middle linebacker down there? Like I was one of those type linebackers.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
get
it's a different
like
game, no
getting the
doubt. Yep.
yeah, like getting in the mode of like standing in this box, like coming downhill in my pass drops instead of dropping backwards at an angle. What I would say was a little more challenging, but I've always been a run stopper, sideline to sideline linebacker. So I would say that was one of my favorite parts of it is that I get to run sideline to sideline still. So,
Mm.
and that's
Right.
what ended up getting me. And I would say the reaction time with a lot of things, like for me to be actually a factor in the pass game, I had to react to things way faster than I would have to react on outdoor.
Right.
Like if I was trying to get to that hitch, I got to go now. Like in outdoor, I could read it for a second, then go. Like I can't do that in the arena. I got to do most of my reading during the play.
Right.
But I also, oh yeah, another vet. Someone just named Malachi Jones. Yeah, shout out to Malachi.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
and that's why I said like some of the vets we had my rookie year, like just watching them work was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Like I had I remember Malachi first day out there when he came back because we heard all the stories about him. This is just a story about him, and we needed some extra DBs
Mm.
for scout defense to go against him. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna play cornerback to check Malachi to see what he's talking about. And I always joke. I
Yep.
always joke with Prince because me and Prince have done a one-on-one before, and I actually was able to deflect the ball. So even though I'm not about to sit right here and say I can strap Prince for a whole game, I've actually stopped him from catching the ball. So he I always be like like little stuff like that. But Malachi, for some reason, but and mind you, I'm not sitting there saying Prince probably even gave it his all going against me that rep either. But Malachi never. Like, never got a chance. Like every time I had to check Malachi or anytime I did anything trying to check him, he like absolutely roasted me every
Yeah,
time.
you
And I
turn
was
the
just like,
inside out.
oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay, okay. I see what is going on.
Yep.
So I got a couple more questions. I don't want to take all of your Saturday afternoon, but so again, you won the Ironman award last year or in 23 when you were with West Texas. Um, what does it mean to you to be able to say, doesn't matter if we're on offense, defense. You call my number, I'm getting the job done for you. What does that mean to have that feeling?
Uh, I would say more so. Okay, so and this is something. This is another thing I haven't told anybody, but
We're getting
football.
exclusives here. We're getting
Huh?
exclusives.
Yeah, nah, very exclusive today. Now in football, I've always felt like I was a factor, right?
Mm.
Like I've always felt like I was one of the key players on the field, but I would say until West Texas, I I was a key player, but I wasn't the player that
Mm.
everybody needs to worry about. Like I was one of the players, like, oh no, he's tough. Like, don't worry about him. Like, not saying don't worry about him, but you gotta watch him.
Yep.
But I was never officially like the bona fide savior of the team. Like I was always like the defensive savior. We always still needed an offensive player like that could match my energy or even be better. Like
Hmm.
so, when I got to West Texas and I was the only, not saying I was the only good football player because we had great football players everywhere, but I would say I was the only vet that really had the opportunity to showcase like what I need to do type like if that
Hmm.
makes sense. So
No, it
there
does.
was a lot
Yeah.
of times and there was a lot of games where I literally had to put the entire team on my back, not only like defensively, but also offensively. Like when we played, I still, it still kills me, but one of my best arena games ever, we ended up losing and I lost us the game and it still hurts me to this day. But we were playing San Antonio in West Texas. We are down by 31 points. Our quarterback gets hurt. We have a wide receiver at quarterback. So at the end, like that's like the beginning of third quarter. So we literally decide the rest of the game that me and the quarterback, the wide receiver, is going to run read option. That's all we're gonna do. We're going to run read option. Either he takes it or I take it, and then we just run. Like we just take it there. And I don't know what happened, but I just got in the mood. Like I just started like yeah, I just couldn't think about being taken down. So I ended up me and him single handedly brought us back from that 30-point deficit. Like I scored, I had two rushing touchdowns, and I scored a scoop and score defense.
Hmm.
And he threw a touchdown, and I think we ended up he got us like right back into the range for us to like tie the game up. And after we tied the game up, they hit a field goal, so we had to march down the field. And on the
Hmm.
drive, marching down the field, like I'm marching, like because we can't throw the ball and we don't have that
Right.
many timeouts. So
Hmm.
I'm just thinking like go, 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 like don't go down, don't hit the wall, just go. So I literally run us all the way down to like the 7 yard line with probably like 15 seconds left in the game. We ended up not running the ball again. We ended up doing a trick play pass, right? And I did a wheel route. And I told you the quarterback was a wide receiver. I still don't blame him, but he saw me late and I was open. So I'm kind of like panicking for him to throw the
Yeah.
ball and how he
Yeah.
threw it. I had to like kind of drop to catch it. So I was trying to catch it where it would just fall into my stomach and I just cradled it in, but I was falling backwards. So when I did it, the ball hit the tip of my shoulder pads and it bounced off and we lost the game on the last play of the game.
Mm.
Sick, sick to my stomach, like still to this day. And but it was definitely like a learning curve. But it was a lot of games like that where we played Jacksonville when they had the Monstar team that year and they had Sam Castanova and all of them. We got blown out like 70-25, but I still won Iron Man of the Week that week because I had 13 tackles, 3 touchdowns. Like,
So how does it feel to be able to play with Sam again this year? That's got to be a good thing.
yeah, Sam, my dog, man. Sam been going at it since rookie
Yep.
year. All right. And
Hmm.
we always joke because Sam rookie year he played with Carolina, and it's a play where, and this is and mind you, even though I played against him, I've never had a chance to actually get like a kill shot on Sam. Like everybody knows, like if you play against me, definitely if you're one of my friends, like I'm going to try to murder you at least once. Like I'm going to like bona fide try to murder you. So the play, me and Sam always joke about it, but Sam was rolling out the pocket, and I blitzed because Jacks could blitz once you leave the pocket, and Sam saw me like kind of floated it up, but I had left my feet, and Sam like ducked out the way last second, and our D lineman behind him, Harold
Yeah.
Brantley, I ended up taking him smooth out. Like I ended up like almost knocked him out, right? And he was like, "Dang, bro, you hit me." I was like, "Man, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch where you going. Then I'm flying around out here."
I just wanted to ask, kind of one last thing. Going through Instagram, some of the stuff, and getting to know. 'Cause I know Chris has worked a little bit with you guys in the last couple of years, and I've been a fan. I've been a fan of the Firebirds, ever since the '90s. The first, with touchdown Eddie Brown and all that. I'm an
Yeah,
Albany guy. So kind of looking around, and I've seen some of the stuff with this Koza King, and obviously that's your name on
yeah.
here and your Instagram handle. Just tell me a little bit about the brand and what it is, and a little bit about it. I really don't know that much.
Okay, all right. So Koza King is a fun little play. I don't know if you seen the new video game that's been came out about the Monkey King, the Black Sun Moon Monkey King.
Not really, no.
All right, so Monkey King is an ancient, like it's kind of religious, but it's also like a folklore tale.
Hmm.
But the Monkey King was basically like a dude that defied Buddha, right? And he was a monkey that defied Buddha, and he defied the gods of Buddha, and ended up defying them so much that he became a god himself. So that's just a general gist of the Monkey King.
Hmm.
But so Koza King is a spin of that name, but it's Koza is like Czech for goat.
Okay.
So instead of like the Goat King, because everybody always want to say like Goat
Yeah,
King
yeah,
or
yeah.
Goat
That's
and
pretty
stuff like
played
that.
out at this point.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
So
Yep.
so when I say Koza King, it's an acronym for Goat King. And that's why on my logo it's a goat with a crown. He got the little
Yep.
chain on that say Koza King and stuff like that. So
Gotcha. No, that's good stuff. And the last question
mhm.
I want to ask before I wrap it up, um, being back at Albany, you've been in a bunch of different places. What makes Albany home for you? Like, what makes it like a no brainer for you to be here? For you
uh
personally?
for me personally, I would say the fans, like the amount
Yeah.
of love people show when I'm out there. Like this last year, I had an older fan, and he almost brought me to tears. This after the Selena Selena Liberty game. So I don't
Hmm.
know if you know, but I had you know about the 3 football players that passed away in the car crash.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
all I was very like I was close to all 3 of them. And I had got the news on my way back up to Albany for that playoff game. So I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of mixed emotions, but I would say once I got back and I started like talking with the team, being around the team, they made me feel a lot better. Like even when I got the news, shout out to Skip. Skip, one of my vets, Marvin Ross. I had called him because for some reason I didn't know who to call. Like I just felt like that was a lot. And then I
Mhm.
called him. Skip was able to calm me down and stuff like that. So, but going into that game, I planned on like giving it everything. But after the game, I met a fan that's been there. Like he's one of our like diehard fans. Like he's like 80 something, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and he's been there like from the jump, like from all the arena teams. So he's saying absolutely every Albany arena team, even back to touchdown Eddie Brown and all that stuff, right?
Mm.
And he came up to me and after the game, I was signing autographs and stuff, and he told me straight up, he was like dead serious, like had tears in his eyes. He was like, "You're one of the best players I've ever seen play this game, like this game of arena. Like I've never seen nobody do all the things that you do at the extent that you do." And I was like, "Oh no, you flattering me, like yeah, relax." He was like, "Nah, like I'm serious, like you're really one of like the best
Mhm.
football players I've ever witnessed," and that shit, and it definitely touched, like it felt some type of way, and it's also that's why I would say, like, even winning the Iron Man
Mhm.
award, I have this persona now. Like, yes, I am a good jack linebacker, but I'm also the best two-way player. So I can never just not be good at both
Mhm.
because that's the title that's attached to me. So whenever I have the opportunity to play running back, I have to be Iron Man of the year. So that's why even like I didn't play it that much this year, but if you notice, whenever I did play fullback, I got into the end zone. So
Mhm.
like just little stuff like that. So I just had to and I like it because it's motivation and it doesn't want me to get complacent because the same way he said that, another dude could tell me like, you all right. I seen better. So
Right. Well, I thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being our first guest, and we're looking forward to seeing you and the team have another successful 2025 season.
of course I appreciate you guys.
And when we get closer to the year, we definitely want to revisit and come back and have you talk with us again. And when we're getting ready, getting into camp and getting ready for the year.
Okay, that appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All
Nice
right,
to
see
meet you.
y'all again.
Nice to meet you, Trevon.
All right, nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.